So I've got Valerian in the corner over there as well, which we can talk about. Valerian is another nervine. It's a sedative plant. So if you have any trouble with your sleep patterns, I've used valerian tea and valerian tincture quite a lot. And just the scent of it, we're very, very reactive to scents. And by smelling the plant, you can actually see if you're going to resonate with that plant or not. So that's the first thing that I would say to somebody if they're looking to alter their sleep pattern. Smell the flower first if you can, or the oil if there's no flowers around in that time of year. And if you feel happy when you're smelling that, then you can actually take it internally as a herbal medicine. And what it does, it's a sort of like a sleep alterative. It'll actually put your sleep back into a normal pattern after 1 or 2 days of taking it as a tincture or a tea. I prefer a tincture because it's very, very direct. And tinctures are made using the root of the valerian plant and distilling it in alcohol or extracting it through an alcoholic process. But you don't drink lots of it, it's just a minute amount, and that acts on the nervous system. And it really does alter the sleep pattern and really calms you and allows you to sleep through the night again.
So would you use the leaves or the flowers for that, Dawn?
The root.
The root.
Yes, you can use the scent of the flower to see if it's actually going to be helpful. And then you can take the tincture of the root.
Now you can get a red valerian.
Mm-hmm.
What would you use that?
Which is this one here.
What would you use that one for?
That isn't, to my knowledge, as medicinal as the Valerian officinalis, which we've got there. I think then you're probably more knowledgeable on the red valerian, which is usually an ornamental, in my opinion. And this has actually arrived here on its own. It was the birds put it there or whatever. But can you enlighten us on red valerian at all?
It needed to be there. Mm-hmm. Like yourself, I've always used these with the nervous system and for stressful situations. A little bit like our beautiful chalice well. We've got red water and white water there. So it's the minerals that make it different. So I feel that probably the white would perhaps work more with the crown area, and it would work, as you say, with balancing the sleep patterns and affect the limbic system. Whereas I think the red, that is really more to do with the autonomic nervous system. That lovely reddy purple colour, perhaps more for hyperactivity type of stress.
That's a good thought, actually. Very interesting. Okay. And what have we got here? These beautiful leaves. Yeah, this is one of my favourite plants because it is absolutely monstrously huge. This is Elecampane. Okay, it's an inula, that's its Latin name, and it gets to 10 feet tall in the right situation. And this is used as a decongestant. Okay, and again you use the root. It has a really, really huge tuberous root on it. And what we've done in the past is made a decoction because roots tend to be quite woody. So you need to boil them in some hot water, and this is how we make decoctions as opposed to teas. Teas are used using hot water and allowed to brew, but decoctions, the boiling action actually releases the medicinal properties of the plant. And if you have chesty conditions or sinus problems, lots of catarrh coming up and things like that, it's very, very useful for clearing that off the chest. Its other use was its flowering stems are quite sticky, and in the old times they used to hang them in the cow byres as a fly trap because the flies would stick to the stems. So it's quite a nice plant, really. It's been used for a very, very, very long time for various reasons, but it has huge, almost sunflower-like flowers, which the butterflies adore. So everything that we grow here has a multiple uses and multiple attractant value. So that's why I like growing that. And it's very, very useful. It really works as a decongestant. We're not going to get any colds this year.
Is that rhubarb?
It is, yeah. Yeah, those were two poor little rhubarb plants that are now quite happy in there. And we won't harvest those this year because they were a bit poorly when we first had them. So next year we'll be able to have lots of rhubarb crumble. And the leaves of that, believe it or not, we can't eat them. They make a fantastic compost, but also we use them to make a caterpillar repellent for the cabbages by brewing them up in a huge vat of hot water with garlic and then straining it and spraying it on the leaves of the cabbage family. And it actually does work at keeping the cabbage butterflies off the plants for a few days. You have to keep doing it, but it works, and I'm happy with that because we don't use any pesticides here. No nasty, horrible chemicals at all, and we use nature to sort of help us combat losing our crops.